So there are more precise ways to assess children's comprehension abilities, right, without just looking at their natural speech samples, because again, they might not say everything that they know. So one example of this is using examiner-administered tests like the Peabody picture vocabulary test, where the child just points at a picture matching the words. So if you're like, do you know the word kitty, right, point to the picture of kitty, and there'll be a picture of a cat and maybe a picture of a dog or something. And if they know the word kitty, they'll point to the picture of the cat, right? It's very, very simple. You just point, right? It's very low cognitive load on the kid. Like if you know the word, you'll point it at, or if you know the word, you'll look at it, right? So they're looking ways to do this as well. But you're just basically picture vocabulary. Can you match the picture with the vocabulary item, right? That's one way to test if children comprehend a particular vocabulary item. Another type of comprehension task is something called an act-out task. And you can see an example of this. It's this YouTube video right here. But the idea is very simple. The child is given toys and a linguistic description like this one here. And if they understand what it means, if they comprehend that utterance correctly, they make the toys act out the appropriate scenario, right? So in this particular case, here's the utterance. The wolf is happy to bite the lion. So if you imagine like you're given a lion and a wolf and you're told to like act this out, what do? Well, if you're an adult, you probably think, okay, well, the wolf is happy to bite the lion. The wolf is going to be the one biting the lion. And you'll do some sort of play that shows that. Now, in this particular one, it looks like the girl's making the lion bite the wolf, which is actually a common misinterpretation we'll talk about a long time from now. But suffice it to say, you can tell how the child comprehends this utterance either correctly or incorrectly by having them perform the act-out task. Now, the act-out task, think about what the child is doing. The child is like listening to usually a very long thing, and a longer thing anyway than just an individual word, and is playing with these toys, and they're probably really fun, and being distracted. So it's a little bit more cognitively taxing for a child to successfully complete an act-out task compared to something as simple as a picture vocabulary test where you're just pointing or looking, right? So it's something to keep in mind about like how hard or easy the task itself is to complete correctly, whether or not the children actually have the ability to comprehend whatever it is you're interested in. Now, in general, pointing tasks are things where the child points at the picture that matches the linguistic description. You can do this with words like kitty or whole sentences like the wolf is happy to bite the lion. And again, the idea here is exactly what the Peabody picture vocabulary task is doing. I mean, you're just pointing. Very simple cognitive thing to do. Like you're not distracted. Like if you understand it, you're going to point at the thing that corresponds to it. So it's much cognitively, it's less demanding, I guess, cognitively less demanding. Now, another one you can do, especially with full sentences, is something called a grammaticality judgment task, right? So you're judging the grammaticality, the well-formedness, how good an utterance sounds. And the child just indicates whether the spoken utterance sounds okay or silly, usually using some sort of cute sort of smiley face indicator, right? So is this a silly thing to say? Or show me, based on the smiley face, which smiley face kind of goes with each of these utterances. So every penguin ate 2 fish, and you're probably like, that's fine, or, that's okay. Every penguin went 2 fish. You're like, oh, that's terrible, right? So that's how you would do a grammaticality judgment test. Now, it's kind of a more complicated test because you're not just understanding what this means and pointing at a picture maybe where every pointing task where every penguin ate 2 fish, you were actually thinking about this. You're like, oh, is that an okay thing to say? It's a more metalinguistic task. It's a harder task, right? So it's a more difficult thing to do with younger children because of that. But if children can successfully complete it, if they complete it the way that adults do, you can say, okay, well, they really comprehend what's going on here.